This is everything behind the productions that we make. Let's take a look on what's behind every music video you watch on our page, and hope you'll gain some insights from our home studio setup. Hi, I'm Victor and I'm the person behind every production that you see on NP Home Studio. If you're new here and you like what we do, please do subscribe on our YouTube channel and follow us on our Facebook page. Click on the notification button to stay updated. A quick background, the page started on April 2017 and we've been making music ever since. Most of our productions feature worship song covers because personally, I've always wanted to reach out, inspire, and bless people through music. It's always a joy to see people getting blessed and ministered with the music that we make. Going back, the home studio went to a lot of changes, but this is the setup now. Let's start with the desk because this is where everything is made. I am a Windows OS user. Though music and video productions, as they would say, would be much better with Mac OS, I've decided to stick with Windows because it's cheaper, more upgradable, and I can play games. My PC runs with an Intel Core i3, 8GB of RAM, and a GeForce GTX 750 Ti. Though my rig is on the lower spectrum, I can run my production softwares at ease. Moving to my digital audio workstation, I'm using the Studio One 2. It's an old DAW, but it's what I've been using ever since. And I never really had problems with it, but I'm planning to change my DAW to Studio One 4. As for my plugins, I mainly use its stock plugins. I do use some other third-party plugins. And if you want a video of the plugins I use, do comment down below. For my video editing software, I'm using the VSDC free video editing software. It's a great software that has everything I need and it's free. I also have the Adobe Premiere and After Effects, but I never had the chance to explore them in depth. I have 3 monitors, and you don't really need this much, but for me it's really convenient, especially during editing because it enables me to see things more clearly and accurately. Moving to my audio interfaces, my main is the Focusrite Scarlett 18i20 2nd Gen. It has 8 inputs and 10 outputs on the go. And partner with it, I have the Behringer ADA 8000 as my ADAT expansion, adding another 8 inputs and 8 outputs to my 18i20 for a total of 16 inputs and 18 outputs. On the other hand, I have a Lexicon Alpha 2-channel audio interface for the general audio of my PC. Connected to this are my speaker monitors, the Samsung Media One M30 with the Xenon AX102 sub in the middle. For my tracking headphones, I use this Samsung SR850 semi-open headphones. And at the back, I have my messy cables and my Takstar wireless IEM transmitters. I have 3 of these and 6 receivers. And finally, I have this condenser mic that I bought from Lazada that I use for video calls and gaming. Moving to the left, I have my storage cabinet where I keep my mic stands, microphones, and other recording tools. Then here is my guitar amp. It's an RJ 100W solid-state combo amp that has 2 12-inch speakers. It was based on a Fender Tweed amp. It feels and sounds like a Tweed amp despite being a solid state. It sounds warm and clean, plus it has a drive and volume knob allowing me to have a Fender overdriven sound without cranking the amp too loud. Before, my amp was an RJ 15W tube amp, but I sold that to Tricia, a close friend of mine that you usually see on the music videos. Next to it are my guitars. I do have a lot because I'm mainly a guitar player, but you don't need this much. For electric guitar recordings, I mainly use this Fender Strat and this Aria hollow body guitar. For bass recording, this Aria semi-hollow bass and this Clifton Telebass. Then for acoustic guitar recording, this RJ Acoustic signed by Joey Ayala. Over here is my guitar pedal board, 3 drives, a delay, and reverb. It's a simple rig, but it does the job, especially in church where I mainly play. Do comment down below if you want to see an in-depth guitar rig rundown. Next is the drums. It's a PDP New Yorker drum set. It's a 4-piece junior kit that has an 18-inch kick, a 13-inch snare, a 10-inch tom, which is not installed at the moment, and a 13-inch floor tom. I also have a 14-inch snare that has a different tuning. I chose a junior kit because it's smaller and more compact. It's very easy to transport and it's not as loud as a standard kit, making it ideal for home recordings or small venue gigs. To compensate for its size, I tuned them low to make it sound big. For my cymbals, I have a 14-inch hats, a 20-inch crash, and a 22-inch ride. For cymbals, I prefer big, dark, dry, and trashy sounding cymbals because they are a lot quieter and manageable in mixing. This is ideal for the music that we make because it doesn't stick out in the mix, giving way to other instruments and the singer. Moving on the right side of the room, I have this PV active speaker which I use during live recordings and gigs outside of the studio. It's loud and sounds full, fit for the type of events we do. Then here is a shelf where I put my camera stuff and books that I keep. For my cameras, I'm using a Canon 6D with a 50mm lens and a Canon M50 Mark I. Before, I had an improvised upright piano shelf that I made for an event that we had. But now, I have the real thing. This is my 1980s treble upright piano. I've always wanted an upright piano because I love how they sound, and they're a lot of fun to record and film. It has 88 keys in total. What I love most about it is it looks awesome on camera. I love to film how the mechanism works, and since it's old, the wood just looks sick on film. On the other hand, I also have the Yamaha PSR E343 that I use as my MIDI keyboard. It doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles, but it does what it should. It's light and compact, and it worked well during events outside of the studio. Over here is a sofa, and over here is my on-the-go toolbox where I keep my mics, light bulbs, mounts, and other tools that I use for recordings outside of the studio or events where we have to play. Comment down below if you want a rundown of the mics I use for recordings. For the lights, I only use ordinary bulbs, which you can normally find on hardware stores. And finally, this room. This room is a 3.3 by 4.4 meter room with a height of 2.6 meters. The room is not acoustic treated because it doesn't have to. And that's it. This is the home studio setup. It's not grand, it's not on the expensive side, but it has everything I need to make music. If you have questions regarding gears, tips, or techniques that I use for recording, please do comment them down below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on our next production.